I am certified pet professional Amy Lee. The only difference between you and your groomer is knowledge, technique, and tools. It is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry. So stay put as we get started on this journey together today. Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Lee, certified professional pet groomer since 2003. But it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry, my friends, so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's Monday, my favorite day. I love it. All right, guys, what are we going to be talking about today? Listen, if you're stressing over how to groom your dog at home, there's an easy way to trim your dog's feet and ears at home. We're going to talk about that tonight. So I'm going to take the stress out of it for you a little bit if I can. How to groom your dog during groomer's shutdown. COVID-19 has not only affected our routines, but it's affected our pets' routines too, definitely. Learning to properly use clippers, scissors, brushes, and other grooming techniques. It is the first step to maintaining your pet at home. And it's not an easy job, guys. I'm here to tell you. But we're going to talk about that tonight. I have a little demo put together for you too that I think will help. And we have some other secrets to share. But before we get into those secrets, and I want to say hello to you all right now. There's 60 of you, and I can't say hello to all of you, but I love you, and I wanted you to know that I am looking at the chat right now. I see you here, and I am so happy that you are with me and you support this channel because we are better together here. When we do what we're doing right now, we're better together, and we can provide quality care for pets everywhere, all over the world. Take a look in the chat, guys. We are coming from all over the place. We're right here together, landed together right here tonight to bring benefit to other people and their pets. So thank you for that, guys. It means the most to me to have you here. Now, I want to go over a few announcements before we start tearing into our juicy content. And I think it's going to be wonderful for you guys tonight. I want to remind you, I don't know if you can see, I have a little reminder right there. 10,000 subscriber party is for you guys and for me to celebrate this milestone together with you. It is this Saturday, this coming Saturday, which is May 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is my time. I'm on the East Coast. So figure out what your time zone is. I want you guys to be here. Honestly, it's going to be worth it. I finally am able to give more to you guys because the channel's making money. Now, what are we talking about here? Well, okay, there's going to be lots of giveaways. I can't wait. I got to be careful what I say because it's on the tip of my tongue, some of these things, and I don't want to blow any of the surprises. Of course, we're going to be giving away some t-shirts, and including a brand new design. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but now we have merch under all of Go Groomer videos. So if you're interested in going and checking out the merch, which is linked with Teespring, you can order, you can get to it right from my link in any video, guys. It should be under this one. But anyway, we have some new designs there, some fun stuff, some leggings. I can't wait to get those. We always say we're better together, and that's one of the things that I put on some of our new t-shirts and some of our new sweatshirts and leggings. Better together. I didn't throw the Go Groomer logo on there. You guys know what it means because you know we're better together. So that's just for you. I threw the better together stuff out there, and we're going to be working on some other designs too in the very near future. In fact, if you guys want to give me any feedback of some things you'd like to see on t-shirts, I can put anything on a t-shirt. It's so much fun. So that's one thing we're going to be giving away. We're also going to be giving away absorber towels. I have 4 of them to give away, but that's not it. There's much more coming. I'm going to put the absorber towels in a gift pack. I'm not going to tell you what's going to be in the gift pack. You're going to have to wait and see Saturday when you show up here at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But the big kicker, there's a grand prize, a huge grand prize, and I can't wait to purchase this for one of you. And it is going to be for members only, the grand prize. All the other prizes are for all my subscribers. They're eligible to win it. But if you're not a member of the channel, go ahead and click on the join button. If you want to be a member, it is going to make you eligible for specific content here, and also for videos to be released to my members. There will be some member videos released a week or two before anybody else can view them too. So that's coming. It's not happening right now, but it's coming. I have all kinds of things planned for you guys for this channel to bring quality content to you and your pets at home. So I do want to say there's going to be a grand prize giveaway, and that will be limited to channel members only. So if you're interested in becoming one, smash that join button right down there. And another thing that I wanted to say to you guys, an important message right now in this time where, it's COVID-19, groomers are shut down. I will say, I am going to announce it to you guys. I went back to work today. I actually went back to work a couple days ago, just kind of did a couple dogs here and there to try to satisfy the schedule. But I went back to work today. Now, some people would say, why did you do that? Why would you, well, okay. First of all, I don't groom, I don't have a ton of people in and out, but it only takes one person to, share these germs and then to share it with others and others. And I realize that. But here's why I decided to go back. I've been diligently watching the direction from our state governor, which is in Pennsylvania. And as our state governors are the ones who dictate what goes on in our states. And they have been announcing that, certain companies could go back to work, certain businesses May 1st. And there's been other businesses that weren't shut down at all. And there seems to be some controversy whether pet groomers are or are not essential. Meaning, can we still be open or can't we? Well, I did some digging, and I can't find that pet groomers can or can't be open. So I decided that my over 6 week shutdown was my part to try to slow the spread of COVID-19, and my business is back and running. And if you're not sure, guys, I say reach out to local legislation and get some answers that you need, because everything is so vague. Nobody knows what they're supposed to be doing right now. But I can tell you this, dogs are getting in a really bad way. And some people just can't do it at home, or they just can't do it. It's not for everybody. Pet grooming is not something everybody can do. So don't stress over that if you can't do it. But if you are a pet groomer, guys, take a look in your county or in your state that you live in and really do some digging to find out if you do need to be closed or not, because it was not listed for me in Pennsylvania that I had to be closed or that I could be open or vice versa. So I thought, you know what? I'm going back to work. So I've been calling customers like crazy. I've been on the phone and playing phone tag and notes everywhere. It's hard to fix 6 weeks of shutdown, but we'll get there. So no problem. I am so happy to see all you guys in the chat. It's just driving me. I just wish I could stop and say hello to each and every one of you, but I know you guys are thinking, we'd like to know what's going on here tonight. Well, tonight's topic is wonderful. It's dog groomer tips that are going to help you groom at home. And we are definitely talking specifically tonight about ears and feet, because I've been getting a lot of people asking, how do I trim the feet of my dog? How do I trim my dog's ears? They're uneven every time I trim them. How do I do this? So I put some stuff together for you guys in hopes to help you with that. So before I jump in there, I see we got some new channel members. Nicole, was that you? Oh, wait, 2 channel members, Lachi. Oh, this is wonderful. And Nicole, I'm so glad, guys. It is going to be so worth it, especially for that grand prize drawing. You guys are going to just, I don't want anybody passing out during my 10,000 subscriber live stream party, because you guys are really going to flip your lid when you see what I'm going to give you. I can't wait. I can't wait. You got to be here. 1 p.m. this Saturday, Eastern Standard Time. So check your time zone. If you're in another country, please get up Saturday at 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is. It's going to be worth it. I'm going to try to keep that live stream to a 1.5 hour live stream. Hubby Go Groomer is going to join me because, you know, I do like to share him with you. I know you guys love him so much. So, yes, make sure you're here Saturday if you can be, guys, because you do have to be present to win. And all of my channel members, you are all going to be entered to win the grand prize, which is going to be the last thing that we give away. Okay? So tonight, let's talk ears. Let me share this demo with you because this is going to open the dialogue for us to talk about. And I see a lot of my groomer friends and my pet groomer friends, my home groomers in the chat. Cannot wait to get chatty with you guys because I feed off of you. You guys start the conversations by asking your questions. So last week when we had Alejandro, which Alejandro, I saw you in the chat. I want to say hello. I am so pleased that you took the time last Monday to be here with us. I can't tell you how many emails I've been getting. Everybody just enjoyed having you on the show and listening to what you brought to the grooming table. You brought a lot to the grooming table, Alejandro. I hope you know that. We're so glad that you're part of us here at Go Groomer, and I thank you for doing that. And I hope that we can get you back on the show. Maybe sometime I can go and groom with you and we can do a live feed there or something. It would just be so much fun. Okay, we'll see. I'm getting out of my head now. I just love that we're here. So listen, guys, last week we had a good thing going. When we had a question, we put a dashed line and held it. Let me see if I can do that for you guys in the chat real quick. When we had a question, we did this. And then you wrote your question. And it really showed me that there was a question. So you see how I just did that in the chat? That is going to be a good way to get your questions in front of me, guys, for when we're done taking a look at our demo on ears and feet. So get your questions ready, get those wheels turning, and it doesn't have to pertain to ears and feet, but that is the topic tonight. So if we can stick to the topic, that would probably help a lot of people and keep this live stream to be more beneficial. And then I'm also going to share with you a few things that you can do to doll up your puppy's ears at home. I got other secrets. All right, let's watch the demo. Thank you for being here, guys. Let's talk ears and feet. Today I'm going to show you how to trim the length of your dog's ears and trim around their feet. We're going to start with the ears on a Shih Tzu named Muttley. His ear length is a bit uneven. So the first thing I want to do is I want to have him looking straight. I want to mark right in the front where I want that length to be set so they're the same. So I marked it here. I'm coming straight over and I'm going to mark this here. Now I know that that's where I want the ear length to be. So I'm going to take him and stand him sideways. Good job. I want him looking forward and straight, not up, forward and straight. I'm going to comb this down gently. And I'm going to connect that line. And they're a little bit uneven back here. We're going to let that fill in. Okay, honey. Now I'm going to take my blending shears. You don't have to do this step. I'm going to hold this straight and I'm just going to fine tune the edge of this so it just looks so natural. And that's it. What's left of this ear to shape, we've already removed what we needed to remove back here at the base by holding the ear up. And we've already removed what we needed here at the front. So now when we comb the ear down, this is the shape. This is the rest of the ear that we are just trying to shape. I'm using a blender, holding it straight right on the line that I set. You really don't want to be picking your ear up much at this point because you will change your lines. You don't want to do that. You want the dog to let the ear hang and you want the dog to look straight. And I'm just holding him here like this, that's all. So that I can scissor this nice and straight. You could use a straight shear here. I'm using a blender. I'm just trying to make that look nicer. It was very uneven. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm looking to just even up right to that line, that little notch that I made. It's okay. And see, I have a hold of him right in front of his chinny chin. I need him to be still. If I wasn't holding him, he would be freely moving himself about, and then I can't get a nice straight look on this ear. So right now I'm holding his cheek. I'm just holding him so he stays still, and I need him looking straight. And we're just tidying that up. Right at the line. So good, buddy. So proud of you. I just love working with him. He's wonderful. He's so loving too. I don't know why they ended up being able to rescue him, why he was at a rescue, but he was. He certainly doesn't seem to have been mistreated, I'll say that. So I think he had a pretty good life wherever he came from. He's a good boy. Always use your comb, guys. Your comb is going to pull hair straight down, stuff that may be hanging in the rest of the coat. And when he shakes his head when he's done, hair will pop out that's uneven, and you'll say, where did that come from? I know, you guys know what I'm talking about, and that's where using your comb will prevent that. You comb down a lot, and it will prevent you from constantly seeing areas that you need to even up, because it's pulling the hair down nicely. So his ears are even. Let's take a nice 360 look at him. So a few takeaways when you're talking about how to trim the length of your dog's ears is you want your dog to be looking forward, straight, not looking up, not looking down. You also want to set that first notch in the front of the ear that's marking the length that you want, and then hold your shear directly straight horizontally across and just nip another notch in the other ear so you can determine the length and that they will match. Just keep in mind, it's never going to be perfect, guys. It's never going to be perfect, but you're going to improve with every grooming session. I promise you, you're going to improve every time. And you're going to pick your work apart. You're going to take a look at it and you're going to say, oh, I see where I went wrong there. And you'll know where to correct it the next time. Now we're going to scissor around the foot. And when I scissor around the foot, I basically am taking off everything that the dog is going to stand on. I am trimming around the pads, and you want to trim around the pads in a complete circle. See how my scissor is not going across the pad? That's very important. And I also want to point out that I am using just the tip of my shear right now. That's important, guys, that you don't have to always use the meat of your shear. I often am just using about the last quarter of my shear, as far as the length of the shank of the shear, and that gives me more control of my scissoring. And you want to comb up and scissor down. And you'll do this several times while you're scissoring the leg of your dog or any area that you're scissoring. You'll comb up and scissor down. When you comb up, it pulls everything out that is obstructing the shape of the leg or whatever it is that you're scissoring. Excuse me. I hope those were some good tips for you guys. I tried to put it together short and sweet. Just make it so you can understand what it is you need to do. Let me just clear a few things off the screen here. It's getting a little crowded. Okay, there we are. So I saw some good stuff in the chat already. Aside from all of you guys, you're the good stuff in the chat. But I saw Nicole, Life with Nicole, she's a groomer. I believe she's in North Carolina. And she said, I can't cut ears to save my life and get them even. It is a challenge. I'm telling you. For years and years and years, I struggled and was trying to figure out how can I nail this? What am I doing wrong? Because then you trim one too short and then you're chasing it with the other one. And then it's just a game back and forth trying to get those ears the same. So I found that putting the notch in the one ear and then straight across, not moving your scissors and putting the next notch, It marks the length in the front. Now, if your dog is looking down and you're trying to trim the ears, your ears are going to go that way. So it's really important that your dog is just looking straight ahead. And I usually hold their nose and their mouth, their muzzle like this to guide them where I want them to be, and that keeps them still. If their head's up, I'll just tilt it down. And that's another tip too, because you can't expect your dog to just stand on the table and you're sitting there with scissors and them to hold perfectly still. I will admit there are some dogs like that, and it blows my mind, but not most of them are not like that. Most of them are like, hey, I want to turn my head up here and look over there, and they're dogs. So you do have to hold them still. You have to find ways to comfortably work with them. So sometimes I think that people don't realize this is a good thing to do at home. If you're just getting used to working with your dog, or if you're new to grooming and you're getting used to working with dogs, it's important to actually just practice handling the dog on the table. Picking a leg up as if you were going to clip inside the leg. And, it is so important to practice handling your dog on a grooming table. We all know they behave better up on that grooming table because they have less concern over anything else that's going on, because they've just been taken out of their element by being elevated up on a grooming table. Now they know they have to perform there, and they quickly learn that is a place for them to perform. So it's really cool how that works. But just practice handling them, and in the meantime brushing and stuff, because you got to do brushing anyway. So the feet, you gotta make sure if you pick up a foot to trim around it, you've got to make sure that you're handling it very gingerly, like firm but ginger. So you pick it up in a way that it doesn't make them want to trip and lose their footing. You pick it up in a way that they can still stand on 3 legs very comfortably, and then you can start trimming. If you feel your dog doing a lot of moving and jerking, like they're not stable on their feet, then it's not safe to start using the scissors, because you could quickly cut them if they move and you didn't anticipate that. So I saw there was a good question about thinning shears up here. It says, is a blender the same as a thinner? Yes, it is. I mean, I guess not technically. Blenders, yes. I'm trying to think. I think this is a blender. This is a Jody Murphy blender. I thought blenders had teeth on both sides, but not necessarily. See, I should have done my homework. I don't have any thinning shears that have teeth on both sides. This is my little Jody Murphy detailer shear. This is great to use around the corners of the eye. Now I want to tell you, this is a 40 tooth blender. And this question goes back to one of my other friends up here had a question. This was for Debbie. Debbie said, how many teeth is good for a blender like this? So let's talk about that. So this, my Kenchi Lightning Shear, is a 40 tooth blender. This Jody Murphy detailer is a 40 tooth blender. So it's not about the teeth, guys. Can you see how far apart the teeth are on this Kenchi Lightning Shear? And they're not only far apart, they're angled. They're also serrated. Can you see that on the ends? Boy, it's so hard to do this. This is serrated. Each end is serrated. So that's one of the things that makes this shear a little more expensive. It was, it's made, it's a complicated little guy. But this little Jody Murphy detailer, now this is kind of an expensive shear too. I believe this one is $175 to $200, something like that. This is a 40 tooth shear as well, but as you can see, the teeth are closer together, meaning that it's not going to take as much coat. Now, compared to this Kenchi Lightning Shear that is also a 40 teeth thinning shear, is going to take a lot more coat. In fact, you can see through it. See my eyes? I can see you. You can see through it because the teeth are so far apart. This is going to take more. So it isn't the amount of teeth that's on the thinning shear. It's how far apart they are and how long the shank of the cut is. So you can see the difference in these two. This is 40 teeth, this is 40 teeth. So the idea, and this is a bigger shear, I can actually scissor a whole dog as if I was hand scissoring with this Kenchi Lightning shear. This is my favorite shear of all. If I was told I couldn't have any straight shears, curved, or thinners but one, it would be my Kenchi thinning shear. I could groom a whole dog with this shear. I love it. Now this is another one by Jody Murphy, and this is the outliner. I really like this one, and it is pretty aggressive. It takes quite a bit. As you can see, compared to her detailer, it's a little bigger, but it is a 40. Yes, it's a 40 tooth. See, it does say on there. See, 6-inch 40 tooth, and this one says the 540 means 5-inch 40 tooth. And now let's see if my Kenchi says, my Kenchi just says 40 teeth, which means 40 teeth. It doesn't say how long it is. So when this one is saying 6-inch 40 teeth, it means 6-inch shear, 40 teeth. And this is a 5-inch shear, 40 teeth. So that, you know, that makes all the difference in the world. Then you'll see blending. I call, if they have this cut out, I call them all thinning shears. I think we started calling them blenders and chunkers and all those things just because of kind of little nicknames for what they do, you know. But they're all thinning shears. They thin the coat, and it just leaves it a much more natural look. So if you ask me how many teeth, I would say, well, this is a 40 tooth shear, but this is an aggressive one. This little outliner or detailer is not aggressive. It doesn't take a lot of coat. So you would be chomp, 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 chomp a lot more than you would with this. When you're scissoring with this, the hair's flying. So I guess it's a matter of what type of coat you're trimming, whether your dog's coat is kind of a little on the thin side, like say a Yorkie or a Maltese. They don't have a ton of coat. They don't have a thick coat. Versus a Wheaten Terrier. A Wheaten Terrier has a nice thick coat. So if that's the case, you're on your Wheaten, you may enjoy a little more of an aggressive shear because you're taking more coat. With a Terrier or a Yorkie, Maltese, anything like that, you know, this one here, and it is going to take a lot of coat. It's still a pretty aggressive shear. This is the Jody Murphy outliner. But it takes it in a very natural way. So there are right and wrong ways to use thinning shears as far as your techniques. And that's for another demo. In fact, it's not for the novice. I mean, you shouldn't stress over trying to learn how to use thinning shears in such fancy ways until you're very comfortable using the thinning shear, because it's a little bit different than a straight shear. And I tell you guys that to protect you and your pets, just so you know. What I always recommend is that you're comfortable with straight shears, you know, and not a blending shear, not a thinning shear, straight shear. Is that you're comfortable with straight shears before you're going to add thinning shears into the mix, because with thinning shears you're making many more cuts. So there's many more opportunity for you to harm your pet if you're not in complete control of what you're doing. All right, so hi Andrew, what did he say? I was trying to groom my standard poodle, I think it is, and the tip of my shears would not cut. I know all about that. I was starting to get frustrated when my mom came and told me that she dropped them and just put them back. Oh yes, we talk about that all the time. If you drop your shears off the table, they are not going to cut right, okay? Oh, there's Erin. Hi, Erin Snader. Erin got me that sign for my 10,000 subscriber gift. She got me a whole bunch of gifts. That's my friend Erin. She's the best. We need to have Erin back on the show, don't we? Absolutely. As soon as this stupid Corona stuff is over, I'm getting tired of it. But yes, Andrew had a great point. I protect these guys like crazy when I'm grooming. Sometimes if your dogs are nervous, they'll kick out their feet and stuff, and you won't have any idea that they're getting ready to do it. and they'll kick your shear off the table on the floor. So another thing I always do when I'm scissoring, and I put down my scissor, I grab my comb to comb up, I put my scissor down far out of the kicking distance of the dog so they couldn't knock it off the table. But it's also close enough for me to quickly pick it back up. So that's another thing to be careful of. And I love having a big grooming table surface. So even if you're grooming a small dog and you're interested in maybe buying a portable grooming table for at home or for professional use, you may be tempted to buy a small table if you think you're only grooming small dogs. Trust me, you will utilize your large grooming table. Just because you're grooming a small dog doesn't mean that you want a small table. I like to keep my brushes and my combs, and usually I have a straight shear and a thinning shear out for every time I'm doing any finishing work on my dogs. So I have those sitting out, and on my big Viper table, I can easily have them in the outskirts of my table, but still on the table surface. But the dog cannot come in contact with it to either step on it and cut their paw pad, because if your scissors are sitting there like this, they could cut themselves if they stepped on that. Of course, we always keep our scissors like this, but I'm just telling you how things happen. Don't ever think things don't happen. Whatever you think won't happen will happen. I guarantee you. It's just the way it goes in dog grooming. So yeah, if you drop them, or if they're kicked off the table, they're going to become out of whack. That doesn't mean you need to throw your shears away. That means you send them back to a good professional. My favorite place to send my shears right now is Kenchi.com for sharpening. They sharpen blades too. I love the service they provide. It's fast, and I can just tell that they have good equipment, because when my scissors come back, they are so sharp. I mean, I'm almost afraid of them when they come back. They're so sharp. And all the way, the whole shank is sharp. There are no dead spots. I have used sharpening services in the past and got my shears back, and there were dead spots. There should not be. They should have said either if something is terribly wrong with the shear and they can't, sharpen the whole thing because it's out of whack, fine, then say so. But usually they can buff things out and line it back up. Nicole's in South Carolina. I always get that wrong, Nicole, don't I? Yes, I do. All right, let me see if there's any more questions here from our friends. Oh, Celeste says, just watched my first Go Groomer video last night and couldn't stop. I'm thankful for all your tips. That's wonderful. I talk fast because I want to keep giving you guys the goods. I want to keep the tips coming. Okay, and Pac-Man has a question. Is a blender the same as a thinner? Yes. In my opinion, blenders, thinners are the same. Sometimes you use a thinning shear in a blending action, and other times you use a thinning shear to thin the coat. So, I can use my Kenchi shear as a blender, meaning that I'm taking scissor marks out of a dog. And I can use my Kenchi shear as a thinner as well to thin down the coat. So, I may be wrong. I say there's that blenders and thinners are all thinning shears. It's a matter of the technique you're using are you blending or are you thinning? If that makes sense, I hope it does. That's a good question. So, any more questions before I start telling you guys some other stuff? There's something I want to share with you that's really cool. Whoops, my chat just keeps bouncing around. I'm trying to, there's a question. All right, hang on. How do you cut, trim a double-coated dog? I am so glad, Pac-Man, that you asked that. The only cutting and trimming that should happen on a double-coated dog, so let's give some examples. Let's say a full collie, or a Sheltie, or a golden retriever, or a Bernese mountain dog, or a husky. These are all double-coated dogs. How do you cut or trim them? First thing that you do with a double-coated dog is you maintain the coat properly. And I have videos on my channel that go into great detail about how to maintain the coat on a double-coated dog safely without damaging it. Because if we damage it, we're encouraging bad regrowth. And when I say damage it, that means if we cut into a double coat. There's a ratio of top coat to undercoat on all double coated dogs. And if we shave a double coated dog and take that off, yeah, he'll feel better for a little bit if it's 110 degrees out. But ultimately, that's the worst thing you could do, because for one thing, the coat's going to grow back very thick, and the ratio of undercoat is going to grow even thicker. Now we just created a dog to have more undercoat. So we interrupted the top coat undercoat ratio, which is how their coat was designed to keep them warm and cool. So they have a very important job, the double coat. So when trimming a double coat, all I do is scissor work around the feet, maybe around the hiney, maybe around the ears, you know, and I'll trim the underline. You scissor that, make it look sharp and pretty. I'll trim the bottom of the tail. You know, there's a method to the madness of why we trim them, but I will not cut into them. I will not use a snap-on comb and cut into them, because some people think, oh, guard combs are safe because it left some length. If it cuts into the undercoat, then it's not safe. Then it is cutting too much, because if we interrupt that undercoat, it's going to interrupt the way it grows back. And I know a lot of people like to see their dogs tidied up. Like, let's say even a Pomeranian, that's a double coat. They like to see, you know, a scissored in, and that's fine if you're going to continuously do it and do it every month, meaning the dog is getting bathed, brushed, conditioned properly, and then just completely hand scissored. And you are still cutting into the undercoat when you're hand scissoring, but that's okay if you're going to leave enough coat, if that makes sense. If you're not cutting into the undercoat, you know, on the body, mainly on the body. A lot of people tend to go a little shorter around the rump on a dog like a Chow Chow or a Pomeranian, because they get dirty back there. So that can be forgiven, but the coat that protects their body and regulates their body temperature is the coat on their body. And I say we need to protect that and do the best thing, which is properly work with that coat. And I have two videos on my channel. One is called Can Tools Damage Your Dog's Coat? That is a fabulous video. The other one is how to keep your dog's undercoat in check. I think that's the other one. Really good information in there if you guys are questioning anything about double coats. But thank you for asking it, Pac-Man, because that is a very important topic, one that I talk about often. Okay, let's see here if we have any more questions that I can see. Tara Perry, hello Tara, says, I'm sorry, my chat is bouncing around. Okay. It says, what is the most affordable clippers I can buy to groom my teacup poodle at home? I've been using my professional clippers for humans because I'm a stylist enthusiast. All right, well, the most affordable, best clipper for a teacup, and if it's a teacup, meaning very, very tiny and small, you could get away with using the Wahl Bravera 5-in-1 clipper with guard combs, not without them. Without guard combs, you're only leaving about a 9 blade length. That's pretty short. I wouldn't do that. But a lot of people, my friend Lise from Canada, and I think you might have even said, Nicole, Grooming with Nicole, Life with Nicole, I think you've even said that on some really small breeds like little Yorkies, little Maltese, that you've used the Bravera, you know, because it's smaller and it's lighter and it's quieter. And the littler dogs tend to like that a little better because they're so little. So you could definitely use the Wahl Bravera. It does not come with the guard combs. You have to purchase them separately. But if you do, Tara, purchase them, make sure you get the guard combs. And they're stainless steel guard combs. They're really good. Make sure you get the ones for the Bravera 5-in-1 or they won't fit. And I believe that also will fit a Wahl Arco. But the snap-on combs that I use for my detachable blade clipper, my Wahl KM10, they will not fit the Bravera. That's a different clipper, the 5-in-1. But it will do a good job for you, Tara, on a very tiny dog. As long as the coat was properly brushed and fluffed and dried and cleaned before you even begin clipping. So that should be good. Yes, Raquel, thank you for reminding everybody. Thank you, Raquel. You are a blessing to have in our chat, to make sure to put that little line in front of the questions so it stands out to me, guys, because I don't want to miss them. All right, let me just scroll down here for a minute, and then I'm going to share another secret that I like when it comes to ears. Oh, God, it's jumping around. Okay, there, I got that one. Hang on. Joyce says, what is the best brush and comb for a Pomeranian? I like the Kenchi slicker brush, probably the medium size or small for a Pomeranian, Joyce. And as far as comb goes, there's a good Andis comb linked in the description here. I really like that one. It only has a small portion of the comb that has the fine teeth, because that's all you're really going to need is a small portion of your comb that it's fine teeth. You're going to want a coarser comb, especially for a double coat. So the Andis one is a really reasonable price. I think it's like $10 or less. That's a good comb. And somebody asked me a while ago, why would you use such a big comb even on small dog? I only use big combs. I mean, I have one here that's smaller because that's the way it came. The one, that Aussie dog comb that I bought at the show, I really like it. But other than that, I buy all at least a 10-inch combs, because most of the time I'm only using the end of it, honestly. As a Springer, a double coat? Yes, Karen, it's a double coat, but that's a good question. A Springer is like it's a Spaniel, like a Cocker as well. They would get carded typically. Carded is how you remove that dead coat out of them. They don't have the woolly double coat like a Golden or a Collie. That is a different double coat, but it is a double coat, Karen. And yes, it can be clipped, just not too short. But what's the best way to maintain the coat on any Spaniel is to card them. I have a demo, what is my video called on my channel that talks about carding and hand stripping? I think it just says hand stripping a dog. That is a good video, and it tells you how it's done and why it's done. And it is actually the best thing for a Spaniel's hair follicles for their skin and coat. So that is a separate technique. But yes, typically in the grooming salon, we clip Spaniels. I don't like to go any shorter than a 7. I think that's pretty short for the body, for the pattern work. That's just my opinion. All right, let's see. Kay Samosin. Here we go. I am using Andis clippers to groom. Would you recommend the Conair mini clipper or the Andis toe blade? He hates his paws being groomed. Okay, well, if you're using a good detachable blade Andis for the groom, you're just talking about for paw pads because your dog minds it, you can use any mini clipper. I have a little cheapy. Do I still have him in here? Yeah. I have a little cheapy Oster that I got from, his hair all over it, I got from Walmart, you know, and occasionally I have to take this blade apart and clean it out real good because little particles get stuck in there. It doesn't want to clip. It'll act like it's dull, but it's really not dull. It's just that you have to take this apart, clean it all out, and put it back together. But this is a nice little paw pad trimmer. It's quiet, it's lightweight, and it gets in there easily to those little paw pads. So any type of mini clipper is good for paw pads only, not for sanitary, not for around the eyes. If you put just the slightest bit of pressure with a clip this close, because this is about a 30 blade, then you can cause a lot of irritation to your dog's skin, and especially in the private sanitary area, that would be a really bad thing. So that's a good question. Oh, what? Oh, don't worry about it because you didn't put the line in, Terry. We got you, honey. We just started this question thing. Here's a question from Giselia, if that's right. Wait. Where did it go? Hold on. Let me find you. See, when I move my chat around, it just jumps. Okay, what do you do when you get a dog that doesn't like you holding his front legs and keeps pulling away. Thank you. Love your videos. Thank you. I love you. So that's a great question. What I do is so much easier to demonstrate than it is to explain it, but I'm going to try to explain it. And I did demonstrate it in, oh guys, what video was that? Was that when I was grooming Solly, the awesome grooming shelter dog? I don't remember. But occasionally you'll get a dog that when you're holding their foot up, and heaven forbid you have to be trying to shave a poodle foot and they don't like it, because you're working with that foot for about 5 minutes, you know. So what I do often when they want to play tug of war, I gently give the foot to them to the point where they can't pull their arm back anymore. So instead of playing tug of war with them, like, you're like, give me the foot, and they're like, no, and they're like, give me the foot, no. What you do is you allow them to keep taking it back to the point where they're like, they can't take it back anymore. Now you can work with that foot. Now they have a little T-Rex foot. That's the best way I can explain it. And it's really important that you're holding them in a comfortable way. You try not to make it awkward for the dog, that it's hard for them to stand, or that you're bending. Don't bend the foot way back like that. It could really hurt them. All dogs start to develop arthritis here at about 8-10 years old. So if you're really bending that foot, that's going to hurt. And at that point, they're probably going to want to snap at you. And that's because it hurts. So just handle them gently, but don't play tug of war with the leg. If they want to pull it, then let them have it. But keep going with it until they can't pull back anymore, and then you can work with the foot. See how that works. Their mindset usually changes when you do that. They go, oh, okay, we're not fighting over the foot. I still don't like it, but I can't move my foot anymore. You know? Is there any way that I can keep the curly texture that comes with a freshly bathed Yorkie? Curly texture. You mean you want him straight, you don't want him straightened out like if he was force dried or blow dried? Well, what I like to do, oh, okay. So meaning like when you do a brush out, well, do your brush out and then check your work with your comb. Make sure you can get a comb through them after you've brushed the dog thoroughly. Then the comb, just squeaking the comb through there tells you he's thoroughly brushed out. Then just get a little bit of warm water in a spray bottle and gently mist it over your dog's coat and just scrunch it back up like this and let it dry. Then don't brush it, don't touch it, let it dry. And then you'll have those waves back again. But your dog is still brushed out and in good shape. You know what I mean? I think that's what you were wanting to know, you know, because they look so fluffed out after you brush them. Okay. There's a question. Have you used the Stuff for Dogs conditioner? Sue says. I have not, but I've heard good things about it. I always just use Quicker Slicker, but I've heard the stuff is really good. So I would like to try it just so we could talk about it sometime. But typically when I'm happy with certain products, I don't go surfing around for other things unless I'm curious about them and want to try them. Tips for Wheaten Terriers' paws. Kristen says, just scissor them. If you're not sure how to scissor the paws of the feet, check out my Cavajan video, because that's a full groom using snap-on combs and then finishing up with scissor techniques. That's the way I would do a Wheaten, aside from the Wheaten head, would be very specific to the Wheaten. But that's what I would do, is go check out that Cavajan video, Kristen, because I think that will explain that for you better than I could talk about it. You know what I mean? Okay, Andrew has that Andis comb I was talking about, and he loves it. Thank you. See, that's why I love that we share here, because people can say, oh, yeah, I use that. I do like it. Okay. Tara says, thank you. Where do you purchase those? The combs? Shoot, now I can't remember what we were talking about, Tara. Forgive me. Nature Oglesby. I think this is, I saw when the chat was getting started, is this Nate, the 16-year-old groomer? That's super awesome. We'd like to know where you groom from. He says, how is the Andis Easy Clip Groom? Also, any secrets to remove discoloring on Havanese feet? Good questions. The Easy Clip Groom. I'm trying to think of which one that is. There's so many clippers. I know that Andis has a Pro Groom. If it's a detachable blade clipper, I'd say you're golden. You know what I mean, Nate? It's okay. Some detachable blade clippers are much better than others. My favorite detachable blade clipper is the Wahl KM10. I've used so many clippers, Andis, Oster, and Wahl. This is my favorite by far. Have to get another one because I just realized this one is about 6 years old. And I've never had a clipper last me that long. So that only speaks highly of the clipper itself. So I don't know, honey. I don't know which clipper that is. But as far as discoloring on a Havanese feet, oftentimes that discoloring is because they're licking their feet. Sometimes they do it out of habit. Sometimes they do it out of something's a little itchy or their feet are a little dry. So one thing that I like to do if a dog is suffering from any type of allergy or something that's causing them to lick and get out themselves or scratch or whatever, I truly believe in the Epsom salt soak. So if it's just the feet, you know, if they can fill up a sink with just warm water, not hot water, like the sink of the, you know, Havanese are small, the kitchen sink, if they can fill it up with about that much water and about a 1/4 cup of Epsom salt or less, whatever it says on the bag. Epsom salt has tremendous healing powers. So that would be one of my biggest suggestions is Epsom salt. It's probably something irritating the dog's feet. And the reason that it's red and discolored is because the dog is licking and licking and licking. And the saliva stains the feet. Oh, my thingy just fell off. So that's a good question. Thank you for asking it. Sheila says, what is the best size blade to use on a Shih Tzu? Well, Sheila, that depends on if the dog is mat-free. Because if they're not mat-free, we can't really get... I'm trying to fix my table. It just fell apart. When the little thingy fell down. Okay. If they're not mat-free and if they're not bathed, brushed, dried, and cleaned when you start trimming them, you're not going to have luck getting much of anything through that, whether it's a blade or a snap-on comb. So the first thing, important thing, is that they're properly bathed, brushed, and bathed. Very important before clipping. And then it depends on how much coat you're looking to maintain. Do you want to keep up with 1 inch of coat? Because that's brushing almost daily. If you didn't want to brush that often, you'd say maybe I'll go to a 1/4 inch. Then you could do a number 4 blade, or you could do the blue snap-on comb if you wanted to do the snap-on comb instead of a blade. So it depends on how much coat you want to maintain. If I had a Shih Tzu, I probably would like to see them in about a little less than 1/2 inch of coat when I trim them. And that means by the time 6 months later, when it's time for, or 6 weeks later, it's time for another trim. Now they've got, you know, close to 1 inch of coat. So it's time for a trim. I don't want to have to maintain 1 inch of coat for 6 weeks. So that's just my opinion. Guys, it's up to you how much length you want to maintain. Just don't take them too short. That's the important thing. And I say anything less than a 7 is too short. Like a 10, a 15, too short. Even a 7, depending on the breed, is too short. So, what is the best size blade? Okay, got that one. How do you cut all around my dog's legs? I had a hard time cutting the inside of the leg. Well, for frolic, I often pick up the opposite leg and use my scissors or clippers, whichever I'm doing, so the dog stands still. You will see me doing legs really good in my Golden Doodle video that was, I think it was a Golden Doodle summer trim. I think that's the one. And to use some length, you would notice that in my Cavajan video, Full Groom. It shows you how I do the legs and how I work with the leg and then how I scissor it. Also, I have a couple videos on my channel of me scissoring Gus, my Golden Doodle that looks just like a poodle and he has a poodle coat. And the one is called Golden Doodle Live Groom. That one is a good one to see a lot of scissor work, leg work. And also there's one that I did with Gus. It was called, but the title of it was Standard Poodle Trim. Standard Poodle Breed Standard Trim or something. That was actually Gus in that video. So those two videos would help you with scissor techniques on legs especially. So great question, because that's one we have all struggled with for all oh yes we have. Bay says, a few hours after I groom, my dog's ears will flip up. Looks like a 1960s hairdo. How do I fix it? I wonder if it's because their ears are sitting a different way when you're trimming them, and then when they're perky and alert, their ears go up. So what you might want to do when you're trimming your dog, I know exactly, I have dogs that do this. Some dogs are so perky and alert with their ears, even if they have a flop ear. Those ears go whoop, way up there, because they're just like, I know everything that's going on right now. So what you can do when you're trimming your dog is step back and, give a squeak, or give something high pitched and let them move their ears like they would. And then you can see how they lay when they do that, which is probably the way they're going to look most of the time if they're a very alert dog. Oh, I wanted to say earlier, Nicole said, I still struggle with ears, and don't we all? But she said she had a good tip. She said sometimes if I'm working by myself, I'll stand back and I'll look at it through my phone lens, like as if it were on video, so she can see what it looks like. That's a great tip. But yeah, I know what you mean about some dogs. Their ears are real perky. So when you're trimming them, the ears are not up like that. But then they get real perky when they're all happy and done. And you're like, oh, that looks completely different, So that's probably why. Why are my lab's nails so thick, 1/4 inch thick? Because they're a big dog, honey. That's normal. That's normal. They're a big dog. They use their feet. It's just the way they're designed. That's by design. All right. Oh my gosh. Melissa says, my dog fakes fainting when I trim her nails. Any tips? Are you serious? Fakes fainting I've never seen anything like that. I'd like to see that on video. I think one thing you can do, I had some dogs, one was a Shih Tzu, that occasionally would hold her breath, especially in the tub. Not even when I was washing her face. If the water was near her, she would hold her breath. And I would see this because she would start to sway and look like she was going to pass out. So once I realized that she was actually holding her breath, I would blow in her face, right in her nose, and it makes them go. So that's one thing you can do, because she used to scare the crap out of me with that. I thought she was going to pass out. I'm like, breathe, breathe. And it didn't matter what I said. She was holding her breath and looking at me, holding her breath. So I would just went and blew in her nose real fast, and she had no choice but to go. So makes them take a breath. That's a good question, because it's not something everybody's faced with, right? Tara says, oh, that really helps, the foot thing. Okay, good, honey, good. Oh, about tug of war. Good. I'm so glad. I love sharing these tips. We're all sharing. Hess Farm says, I brush bathe my poodles before groom. My question is, how long should your number 10 stay sharp? Okay. I do oil and clean the blades as grooming. I have 2 standards. Okay, so you do a lot of grooming with standards. Your 10 blade, if you're taking good care of it, and if you're only grooming 2 standards, your 10 blade should last you quite some time. My 10 blades last me grooming, up to 5 dogs a day. They can last me 4 months. That's quite a while if you're taking care of it, honestly. So I'd say if you're taking care of it, it should last you quite some time. On that note, I was going to say something. Shoot, what was I going to say about the blade life? Oh, what I would do, because you never want to be stranded without a blade. Say you only have the 110 blade, And when a blade goes dull, there's like no warning. It goes dull. And you're like, oh no, I'm halfway through this groom, you know? So I always like to have at least another one. You know, if I have to have at least 2 10s, at least 2 7s, at least 2 30s, maybe 2 4s. The rest I use snap-on combs or whatever, but the 10s what I use under my snap-on combs. So I always have to have at least one spare, because if it goes out on you, boy, you'll be running to the store and telling your dog, stay still, don't move. So I wanted to show you guys real quick these cute little bows. One of my friends, Tracy Kaufman, she's a groomer. She had sent these to me, a whole box of them. So nice. These are Bardell bows, which I absolutely love. They really hold up best. It's just, Mary, you use these in your little girls. If you can put them in the ears, above the ears, and you can also put them on a top knot tie up. And they're so cute. And you can even do bows on the ears of a Cocker Spaniel. You know how we shave that little bit down? Well, then right there where we shave it down, you can put that bow. It looks so pretty. Look at these, they're so pretty. I wish I had a little girl dog. I should put this on. This is blue. I could put this in Gus's hair, couldn't I? I could put him in his ears. I will. I'll post it on Facebook so you guys can see it. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, guys, search up Go Groomer private Facebook group on Facebook. It is a wonderful group. You guys are sharing so much there. I try to jump in when I can and help out, but sometimes I feel like I'm not even needed there because you guys often got it covered. But that's good. The reason I created that Facebook group is so you can be better together and so we can help each other, you know, in between our weekly live streams and my other uploads. It's a place where everybody can ask for help, or if they're hung up on anything, or just share something cool with their dog. Sometimes our friends are posting when they groom their dog and they say, here's my before and here's my after, you know, thoughts. It's great. I love it. So I wanted to share that with you. Bardell bows, I did link. Look at this little dog. I linked them in the description. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I've just always liked their bows best because they do hold up well. The rubber bands aren't cheap and dry rotted. They just are known for the best bows, and they hold up nice and they look beautiful. So if you're interested in getting any bows, hop on over to Bardell Bows. You'll love them. I'm telling you, you'll love them. And they have quite a selection, and they always change it up with the seasons too. And obviously, don't forget, guys, that we are 10,000 strong, and this is what that looks like. Now we're almost 15,000 strong. I am blown away. So we're going to be celebrating that this Saturday. You guys have to be there. I got some good giveaways planned for you, and that's what it's all about, is for you guys to, I want to give some things. I'm excited because of you, because you got our channel where it is right now, and I'm so excited to give a few things back and just have fun celebrating that with you guys. That's this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, May 9th, so please be there. Did I have any questions that were really important? I don't want to leave you guys hanging, but we have been hanging out here for about an hour, and I know you guys all have stuff going on. Who is that? CRIDHE says, by the way, I've been watching your videos literally all day. Gotta love quarantine. I know. You've learned so much. Well, I'm so glad you've learned. I know my videos just go on and on. Terry Hinkle says, do de-shedding shampoos and conditioners work, or are they worth it for double-coated dogs? I've noticed that some of them I really do like, Terry. One I'll tell you that I like is the Coat Handler De-Shed? No, Undercoat Control. That's what it's called. It's made by Coat Handler, and there is a shampoo and conditioner that I think work great in combination with each other. Both are dilutable, so make sure you properly dilute your shampoo. That's how it is the most effective for your pet. But it is the Coat Handler Undercoat Control conditioner and the shampoo. I really have noticed improved. I like it. For some reason, you don't want to overly moisturize that double coat. That way you can easily brush and force dry the undercoat out. That's what I find. So Yeah, that would be my best tip for the shampoo. Some of them do. I haven't used every single brand of shampoo and conditioner, so I can't tell you, you know, what ones work or don't. I can just tell you that I have used the Code Handler and I liked it, and I think you would like it too. And Kay Samoson says, are there any mini clippers that can be used for sanitary cut? I have an 8-pound toy poodle, and your channel is awesome. Oh, thank you so much. To my knowledge, because I don't like to give misinformation, to my knowledge, all the mini clippers are a short blade, like a 30, and it's too close for a sanitary. So the best you would do would probably be like the Wall Arco, which is a little cheaper than the Bravura and does a really good job. It's a favorite. And or something comparable to the Wall Arco, I'd say is, if you know, for sanitary. And if you have a little toy poodle, you might be able to use like the Bravura with the guard combs for the clip itself, and then use the number 10 for sanitary trimming. So but to my knowledge, honey, there is no mini clipper that's safe to use around the sanitary, because that's a 30 blade and it's just too close. Okay, Tara says the Bravura clippers, where would you purchase them? Amazon, anywhere. Pet Edge, you can purchase them. You can purchase on Chewy.com. I like to buy a lot of my products from groomerschoice.com, one of my favorite places to shop. And they also have fast shipping, but they have good prices. Ryan's Pet Supplies, there are so many, but they all would carry the Bravura, no doubt. Chris says, I have a Cavapoo, and is it best to follow your Cavajan video, or would the fur be different? I would say your Cavapoo is probably similar to Charlie that was in the Cavajan. Your Cavapoo might have a little bit less of a fluffy coat. Maybe it's a little more curly, like a poodle. But even so, after bathing and brushing and drying, you should have a nice straight coat to work with. So I think that video would be best for you, Chris, definitely. Susan says, do you use shampoo and conditioner separately or in combination, shampoo and conditioner? I use them separately. Some people do apply the conditioner right on top of the shampoo and then rinse it all. But I feel if you're going to get the most benefit from both products, you would rinse the shampoo off first and then condition. And then I usually kind of comb the conditioner through and let it sit on the pet for a couple minutes just to add moisture into the skin and coat. That's just what I do. Everybody's a little different on that idea, but that's what I do. What moisturizer? This is from MN Counter Gal. This is Penny. What moisturizer can you recommend for paws? I really like the Tropiclean paw treatment. They have a spa paw treatment, and you would only need to do that every so often. I like to do that. There's also some good like natural Burt's Bees. I think Burt's Bees has one. Raquel used one on Miles. I would say people often feel like they pick their dog's pads up and they go, oh, it's so rough and hard. That's not a bad thing. They're walking on their feet. They're walking on stones. They're walking on macadam. You don't want your puppy to have a soft, smooth pad of the foot, because it's going to easily get cut with stones. When they walk on stones, it's going to easily get burned from pavement that's too hot. So the fact that your dog has a little bit of tough callousing, that's normal. You want that. That protects their foot. So don't get upset. Her foot is too tough. I mean, if it's splitting and stuff, yeah, then we've got an issue. We've got dryness or something. But don't stress over it, Penny, if she's got a tough paw. That's normal. She needs to have that. Alejandro, hello, my friend, says, where did you buy your stand dryer? I actually got my Ademco dryer at the Hershey show years ago at a Groom Expo. There's a good show up near you, Alejandro, in California. I'm trying to think of when that one is. I think that's usually a February show, so that's probably already been. But I got him at the show because that way I was comparing all the models to see which one I wanted. I went there knowing I wanted to buy a stand dryer and I was probably going to get an Ademco, but I just didn't know which model that I wanted. So I got it at the show because I could play around with it then, and I could really feel confident about spending the money, because they're not cheap, but boy are they awesome. So that's where I got it, Alejandro. You can buy a Ademco. There's different dealers. You'd have to search that around on the internet that sell Ademco dryers and tables. Then they would have what you need too. And I think possibly Amazon sometimes has a Ademco. I guess it depends on who the seller is, or Pet Edge might have them. But that's where I got it, Alejandro, and it's an Ademco. It's a good one. Christy says, about how often do you get your blades or scissors sharpened? Do you send them at the same time? Yeah, okay, good question. How many backups do you suggest to have of each? Well, here's the thing. I only have one Kenchi Lightning Shear. I'd like to get another one. Oh, we just got a new member? Terry, all right. Good job, honey. The Kenchi Shear, I want to get another one for a backup because when I send him out, I'm so missing him. But fortunately, Kenchi, like I said, is who I've been sending my shears and my blades to be sharpened to, and they are very fast about getting them back to me within a week. That's fast. So if he's sent out, then I go and I'll use this one. I may have to work a little harder to get the same finish with my outliner, but I can get the same look. Or I might use, one of my other favorites. So as long as you have one backup, straight shear and thinner, you're good. You'll be okay. We got another member too, Celeste. All right. I'm so glad you guys are in for the grand prize because it's grand. Oh, I'm going crazy here. You guys are going to be so mad if you don't win it. It's so cool. Okay, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't talk like that. I shouldn't get you all mad. Now you guys won't show up at all. You're like, well, I'm not showing up there to get mad. Okay, Cindy, did you have a question? Did I miss it? Cindy, I have. Okay. Cindy says, I have a nervous German Shepherd who will not allow me to cut his nails or clean his ears without losing his mind. I can imagine. Can you recommend anything natural to calm him ahead of time? Well, a friend of mine, Annie, she has a Shepherd as well. She really believes strongly in the young living essential oils, and she uses them for Zeus for calming at night, and she even in a diffuser. But when she goes to work with him, like brushing or anything like that, she always just takes a few drops and drops it down his coat and his back, and she massages it down through the coat into the skin, and she swears that it helps. I say that they probably could help. It certainly wouldn't hurt. It smells good too for you, and it's obviously good for his skin, so it's not going to bother him there. But so that's one way. Another thing is to just you really got to talk them down off the ledge. When they start to get so upset and you just can't reach them, stop doing what you're doing that they don't like, and just get as close to them as you can and just talk real quietly and say, I know you don't like it, but you know what, we're in this together. And as you're talking real quietly to them and you're like a foot from your dog, real close, pick up the paw and just start messing with it a little and say, you know what, we're going to get through this. Sometimes talking them down allows you to get somewhere. That's my best suggestion, honey. I know it's hard. They're all different. Maria says, Amy, how often do you sharpen your shears? And that probably sharpening, maybe 3 times a year, if that. If you take care of them and you're not cutting a dirty coat, that's another thing that'll dull your blades and your shears quickly, is cutting a coat that's not clean. So, don't do that. You'll get the most out of your blades and your shears, plus you'll get a better clip and a better scissor finish if you're working with a clean coat. Trust me. So yeah, honestly, for me, I think I send these guys my lightning shears maybe twice a year, and probably my other straight shears, and I have a couple other pair of straights. A couple times a year, that's about it. If you take care of them and don't cut a dirty coat. Jacqueline says, I was only able to find Bark 4 ear cleaner, but could only find the gallon. Can you recommend another cleaner? Anything's okay, honey. I like the Tropiclean. Tropiclean has a couple different ear cleaners, and I really like them. I have used them. There's a lot of good ear cleaners out there. Davis has a good ear cleaner that's nicely affordable. I'd say Davis, Tropiclean. I don't know if Nature's Specialty has, I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say. So I'd say any of those, honey, will be fine. Celeste says, wait, so just jump on at 1 o'clock on Saturday to be part of the giveaway, or is there anything else to do? No, it's a live stream, honey. You'll see it just like you got the notification today that I was live, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you just went to my channel. So if you don't get a notification that I'm live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then go to my channel and go into the video, the homepage, and look for my live feed. It should say, have a little red live thing on it, That's the one. It's going to be this Saturday, but you should get a notification if you're logged into YouTube and you have you've subscribed to my channel and then selected the bell notification beside it and chose all notifications. Then you should get notified if I go live, and I'm not going to set it to private, so everybody should get notified when it goes live. And then yes, honey, you just show up. The grand prize, we have a certain way we're going to be giving that away, and that way I can feel good about it because I don't have to actually pick anybody. So it's going to be picked in another way that's fail-proof. Now the other things, like the other giveaways, we're going to have 4 different gift what do I call them, like gift pack giveaways, including the absorber towel in there and some other things. And there'll be 4 of those, and we're going to give away 1 or 2 t-shirts depending on where we're at with time. And is there anything else? Of course, the grand prize. I think I might make a couple tub leashes if I have time. And if I do, I will give a couple of those away. You guys have really been asking about them. And also the grooming arm harnesses that I use to hook to the groomer's helper and hook the dog to the grooming arm. Those are extremely helpful to have. So we'll get it together. Yeah, show up 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Find out what your time zone is and what my time zone is. I'm Eastern Standard Time. So 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, guys, you be here. Look for me to go live this Saturday, May 9th at 1 o'clock. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. And we have a lot to celebrate. So let me just run down here and see if I didn't miss any questions. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. Terry joined. Celeste joined. Good for you, ladies. Good job. Do we need to be present to win? Yes, Terry. Good question. Yes, you do. You do need to be present to win. Plan to attend, but just in case. Yes. Well, for some of them, it's going to be questions, I think. Question and answer. So obviously would have to be present to win that. But for the member grand prize giveaway, you have to be present. And if you're not, then I will go to the next one. So, because I want the person to have that moment with all of us, present. So Tracy says, which essential oil? The lavender. The lavender is supposed to help you mellow down. And there's a couple of other ones. Look them up. But she uses Young Living essential oils. That's what Annie uses. And she uses the lavender for calming. And there's another one that has a mixture of different herbs in it. I think it's called Calm or something. But it's supposed to help with that. Sue says, is hubby the grand prize? Laugh out loud. I could use some help around the house. I don't know. I'll have to ask him if he wants to be auctioned off, Sue. I'll ask him. But I can't be without him too long. I mean, he's out mowing the grass right now. Pina says, Amy, have you heard of Wall Lithium Ion Pro Dog Clipper? And what are your thoughts? Lithium Ion Pro Dog Clipper. I'm not sure which one that is. That sounds familiar, but I'm not sure which one that is, Pina. If that is like a 5-in-1 or what. I don't know. I'm not sure. Is the party on YouTube? Yes, not Facebook, honey. Okay. Karen, yes, it's on YouTube. Live on YouTube. Thank you for asking. I will send reminders on my community page, and you guys should get those reminders. It's just a post. That should go to your homepage, I guess, but whatever. Anyway, it should help remind you. Hello, Rachel from Russia. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you. I just love all you guys. Debbie says, for the prizes, does it matter if we're in different countries? No, Debbie, it doesn't. You can win, honey, for all of them. I will pay to ship them to wherever you are. The only prize that has one shipping restriction on it is the grand prize. And that's only a shipping problem. And I can't tell you why right now, but anybody in Japan cannot be eligible for that. I'm not sure. I've never noticed that we have any friends from Japan. So I'm hoping that that doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. But Japan will be the only one excluded, Debbie. So you're from Zealand, you're okay. I'll explain that later. It's not because we don't like Japan. We do like Japan. It's a shipping issue, and I can't explain it right now because I don't want to give anything away. Yes. Pinksky, right here on YouTube, honey. You got it. Lou, you asked a question, but you put a line in front of it. Yeah, see how Tara did? Burt's Bees has a calming drops. Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you, Tara. Oh, I think I know why. And what? Oh, no, you do not. Andrew, you better not. Don't tell anybody if you think you know. Cynthia, you put, is that where you can send the your blades to be sharpened at Kenchi? Is that what that is? Did you put that in to help everybody? Thank you very much. I love it when you guys help each other. Okay, Lou put a long question in front of your question. All right, let me see if I can go find it. Oh, long line. I don't think I see anything. We're getting ready to wrap up here, guys. I can't wait to hang out with you Saturday to celebrate this. And we, like I said, that where are we at? 15,000 subscribers now. We were at 10,000 last week. That's insane. I mean, we're just helping everybody, aren't we? I can't wait to see it either, Ashley. I can't wait to see you guys. You're gonna love it. Did Lou ever get her question in? Oh, Raquel, stop it. Raquel says, I know what it is. I know what it is. Don't ruin the surprise, guys. Maria says, I highly recommend fresh and soothing shampoo and conditioner. My Havanese smells like a lavender field. Wow, so it probably has some natural herbs in it. That does sound like it would smell good and sound good too. Okay, yes, we don't talk about the surprises. Have you used it with the surprise? No, Maria, I have not. The shampoo, the fresh and soothing. I've never used it, but I think I need to. I need to try it. Lou, there's your question. I asked, where do we start grooming, bathing when we get new puppy? When to start grooming your new puppy? I like to start puppies around 8 to 10 weeks old because that first bath, it's not going to take very long. It's just getting them used to being handled. Be very calm, very gentle. Make it a nice process for them. And it's over with quickly because their hair dries so fast when they're that little. And they're little and they're easy to work with. So around 8 to 10 weeks is perfect because it starts to get them used to you handling them. And it starts to get them used to the water and the shampoo. And I find that they do wonderful at that age from then on out if you start them young. Just be very gentle with them, okay? And make it a very nice process for them. Yeah, you better cover your mouth, Raquel. Nate says, any good grooming shows in Pennsylvania. Oh my goodness, Nate, the best one ever. The Hershey Expo. That's the best show. Are you in Pennsylvania, Nate? If you are, you've got to go to the Hershey show. You've got to go to the Hershey show. It's the best one. It really is. So I hope to see you there. I go every year. Oh yes, you're in PA. Super duper awesome. You should come groom with me for a day. Email me. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to clean up my shop. I have a very busy day tomorrow grooming. So I have to get ready for that. Intergroom's a good show too. Absolutely. Well, Pink Skies, get on over to PA. Pennsylvania is a wonderful state. It's beautiful. Aw. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being awesome and coming and sharing everything. Don't forget about our show. Don't forget. That's for you guys. I can't wait. Can't wait. So make sure you put 14 reminders in your phones or your Alexas or whomever you've got to talk to. Okay? I will see you all Saturday with bells on. I might just wear bells too. I love you guys. Here's a subscriber showdown. You take care. I will see you Saturday. Thank you.
Very important that you all be good to each other, and practice the social distancing. So you shouldn't sniff other people's legs, and you really shouldn't sniff their crotches until this whole thing is over. That's social responsibility. So I'm here if you need me, and I'm really wishing you some good luck. Okay? All right. Bye.